to lead me back to.
Hey all, welcome to Rajan Biz. So here I'm again with another video, and today's topic is to how to write a book fast. That is the first part. And the second part is how to write a bestseller book. So if you combine both the topics, they become how to write a bestseller book fast, right? So without any delay, let's get on to our topic. So first I'll be covering how to write a book very fast. Now, there are a few points to write a book very fast. To write a book very fast, actually you should have a right approach. The beginning and the foundation matters the most. What you are beginning, how you're thinking, how you're initiating the book. Because if the initiative is correct, that is in the right direction, then definitely you can write the book fast. Else you have to come back to the initiative, change it again, and it will hamper the whole process. It will actually ban the whole process and waste your time again and again. So with the right perfect initiative, if you break the ice of the book, that is nothing like it, right? Then, second important thing, your attitude is very important. It should be right, it should be very bright. Because the way you are approaching throughout the book, what is your basic thought process, what is your contemplation, that is all that matters. You can write a book in a week. Sometimes if it's a small book, you can write even in a day or two. Yes, you can, but with the right positive attitude. It should be right, it should be very bright, and there should be no leakage or drawbacks in between your attitude throughout your writing process. I hope you get it right, okay? Third point. Now you have to set a target for yourself. That is, you should actually have some particular deadline in your mind. That is, up to this particular time, I have to finish my book. That is very important. If you set a sort of a deadline for yourself, then you will be able and motivated to achieve that particular deadline, right? If you don't know in how much time you will be finishing your book, it will become an infinite process. But if you know that I have to finish it off till in a fortnight, in about 3 weeks or a month or so, then definitely accordingly, you will be feeding your brain to plan for that particular book. And accordingly, your actions will be molded. That is, accordingly, your word count will be decided. It happens automatic. It is not that you are going to plan it. That is everything gonna happen automatic once you set your deadline for your book. Okay? Coming over to our next important point. Now, once you know your deadline, what do you have to do? You have to plan, organize, manage everything, especially you should know the value and the power of the time. You have to have and find out time to write that book and to write that book till your deadline. That is very important. See, one of the things that I actually challenge myself and I sometimes have tried is to pre-order a book, place it for a pre-order, though not yet written, but I've placed it for a pre-order, and at the same time, that is my deadline. And then you challenge yourself, and then you compete with yourself to achieve that deadline. That has worked for me once or twice, though third time I had to postpone my pre-order date. And that is a very risky thing. That is actually a very risky thing. But then that's a sort of a challenge that you have to face. And actually that motivates you and keeps you in the right direction, on the right path of writing your book. that actually saves you from a lot of irrelevant thoughts and irrelevant context. That is very important. I'll talk about it later also, but for the timing, I just want to say that you actually focus well if you set a deadline and you try to challenge yourself to achieve that deadline. You are more focused and you save yourself from all the irrelevant thoughts, irrelevant sentences, irrelevant particular structure or format or the content of your book. You put the relevant things, you put the right things, because you sometimes in your heart you may feel that I may not get a second chance to actually put so much of time again in this particular content. So make it the best for the first time, right? That is the process, that is the attitude. Make it the best in the first place, in the first time, so that you don't have to return again and again back to it and correct it or change it or modify it, whatever. Okay? Now, to have all these planning particular ideologies, what do you have to prepare yourself. Actually, you have to have some affirmations. You have to constantly say positive things to yourself that yes, I'm going to write one of the bestsellers, I'm going to write one of the page turners, and I'm going to become actually a very, like, the best of the authors, the most recognized one, the most experienced, the most superior one. And if you have such kind of affirmations, then definitely you are going to succeed in that particular direction, because then you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is what you become actually, and what you imagine is what you create. So that is the whole secret key to success, right? Then sometimes one important element of this whole process is that you have to actually do some kind of research, or sometimes you have to actually prepare for the content of your book. That is, sometimes it's a non-fiction book, and when it's a non-fiction book, you have to prepare very hard for it. The time of preparation or the time of working out content for that particular book is actually sometimes in non-fiction, most of the times it is before writing the book. But in fiction, it can be after the book also, but in the non-fiction, it's generally before writing the book. That what I have always experienced, because if you're writing a non-fiction, it should be full of knowledge, it should be full of right and relevant information. For that, you have to work out your content. And when you start working on your content, you have to keep a time period for that particular working out process also, preparation. That's what we call preptober, right? Research, ideas, sparks for your story ideas. Now, because I'll be writing fiction this time, so I'm not saying that I have to research a lot, but non-fiction requires a lot of work, right? So when you get all the topics, all the bullet points gathered together, that thing requires a lot of time. You have to set apart a time, you have to take out time for that particular process, because that will shape the whole of your book. That is, we call outlining book. That is what we call a kind of a plotting of your book. In non-fiction, it's outlining book actually. You have to see what will come first, the beginning, the middle point, the end point, and everything, all the content, all the formatting you have to do much before writing your book. Everything should be well prepared before you put it out actually in a form of a book. That's the success key of non-fiction, but sometimes it works in fiction also. Especially for the plotters, they work like this. They plot down everything, every minute point, everything they have to actually work out before they write a book. So this is known as prep time. This is known as prep. So whatever you have to prep, you should know how much you have to prep, whether you have to prep or not, before or after the book, and you have to take out your time for that particular prep. Now, one thing I should tell you, that don't prep in between writing your book. That is not the right thing. Always prep either before the book or after the book, and generally it is done before the book. Okay? And last but not the least, after you have all these things, you have the strong base, the great initiative, you have the right and bright attitude, you have done your prep research well, you have set your deadlines, you have imagined your affirmations as an author for your book, for yourself. You need to now do a little sit back, relax, and meditate so that brings more creative juices out of your handwriting. And that process, after that, outline your book, jot down the points, start writing the bullet points, plot your book, and last but not the least, write your book. So, these are all in all the perfect steps to write a book fast. And that you have to do all in Preptober. That I'll be doing all in Preptober. And actually I've started, but I'll be telling you the details about it in some of the later videos in Preptober. But if you have everything well set, well preparation prevents poor performances. Well, that's well said. And with that particular ideologies, I put a full stop to my video today. And the next part, that is what is the secret sauce to writing a bestseller, I'll be doing in another video. So till then, I hope you like the video. If you did like it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, stay tuned for more such motivational writing Preptober videos. Thank you, take care, bye-bye.